Good morning, NextGen Nation, and welcome. I'm so happy to see everyone here today, or virtually see all you. I hope you enjoyed the morning keynotes. I thought it was a great way to kick off the day. We have an exciting day. I'm Doug Mashkuri, Vice President and General Manager of GovLoop, and today I have the added privilege of being your moderator. Thanks for joining us. So let's set the discussion here. Welcome to Expert Tips to Improve Your Financial Wellness. Financial wellness, it can be scary, confusing, stressful, and overwhelming. And if you have any of those feelings, you're in the right place today because we have a great presentation that's going to really help you map out a path to financial wellness. You're going to see some tips, some tricks, some really sound strategy on how to manage your financial wellness. So I'm really excited to be talking about this today. We have an expert speaker who's going to give us a wonderful presentation. But before that, I have to go through a few housekeeping items. If you've been to NextGen before, you know we have to do this long rant, but I'm going to try and get through it quickly. So a couple of things. We have great additional resources for you available to download from your console. That includes this slide deck. We also, if you have any technical difficulties, put them in the Q&A tab, and my colleague Kelly will help you work out any technical difficulties you may have. In that same Q&A portal is where you can ask questions. Tony Zerante will be available to answer these questions throughout the presentation, and we have time reserved at the end to answer questions. We also have an open chat available for you today, so don't be shy. We want to hear from you. We enjoyed the chat about the elevator music already. Whoever said which floor, please, gave us a very, very good chuckle, so appreciate that. If you miss anything, don't worry. We're going to email you a link to this session, to the entire event tomorrow. You'll receive an email directly to your inbox. So let's talk a little about CPEs, because you can get a CPE by attending today's session. 3 simple steps to get that CPE. 1, attend the session. You're already here. Checkbox. Great job. 2, we're going to have 3 poll questions during the Q&A session. So you need to stay through the session. Take the poll questions. Poll question will pop up. You can put your answer there, click submit, and it'll be recorded. And the 3rd step is to complete the evaluation. The evaluation form can be found in the resource module or in the main environment in the resource center. Take those 3 steps and you'll earn a CPE. So we're really excited about that. Lastly, let's move on here. We've done with the housekeeping items. I'm really excited to introduce you to folks to Tony Zerante. He's the Chief Strategy Officer with WAEPA, which is Worldwide Assurance for Employees of Federal Agencies. And Tony's going to walk us through tips and paths to financial wellness. Tony, awesome to see you again. Thanks for joining us, and the floor is yours.
Okay. Thank you, Doug. Thank you for the warm introduction. Good morning, NextGen attendees. I hope it's as nice of a fall day where you are as it is here in Northern Virginia. It's a beautiful day. So I hope that when you get your breaks, you get a chance to get outside and take advantage of this lovely fall weather that we have here. I will go ahead and jump right in. As Doug said before, the Q&A, the attendee chat down there, please leverage that for questions or comments that you may have. We will maybe do a combination of addressing a couple of those questions during the presentation, and then also certainly at the end, and try to get to everybody's questions if possible too. So if you want to participate, please feel free to join in there. This is supposed to be a participatory, type of event where you hopefully gain some knowledge and gain some confidence as you go forward. So with that, I will start with our slides here again, and I'll give you just a little bit of background about myself. Again, Tony Zerante, the Chief Strategy Officer here at WAEPA. I have more than 24 years of experience in insurance and nonprofit organizations. I've been at WAEPA for a very, very long time now, and I've kind of done, a variety of roles here. Worked front lines on member services for many years, and then moved to the operations management side. And currently, I lead the new product development and strategic growth opportunities, as well as overseeing our billing services department. So a little bit about WAEPA, or Worldwide Assurance for Employees of Public Agencies. WAEPA we're a nonprofit, we're a 501c9. We're a provider of group term life insurance exclusively for federal civilian employees and their families. We also offer short-term disability insurance to federal employees and their spouses as well. WAEPA was formed over 80 years ago during World War II by federal employees for federal employees. So that is all that we do. Is serve the federal workforce, and then also provide information and benefits to all folks that are interested in financial wellness as well. Currently, we have more than 46,000 members across all levels and agencies of government. That is in all 50 states, all territories, some overseas members as well, folks working TDY within the government. And we've provided over the years to more than 100,000 civilian federal employees or their families. We provided the protection and assurance that they were looking for, at that time in their careers. And lastly, but not leastly, our goal, our mission at WAEPA has always been to provide members with access to products and services that they need to promote their health, welfare, and financial well-being for themselves as well as their families. So again, welcome, and I will jump into the meat of the presentation here. So first off, let's talk a little bit about, what may be causing some uneasiness for you or your families, regardless of where you're working or your career level. These types of things, these macroeconomic type of items affect us all in one way or another generally. So what is going on? What are we worried about? The Federal Reserve just recently lowered their rate by 50 basis points. Generally, that's good news for consumers, good news for us, and it appears that they are on track to continue to lower those rates by 25 basis points, for several times during the next, year to 18 months, even to 2 years. So it appears that inflation is coming down. And it also appears that the Fed will loosen the reins on the cash flow, which should hopefully help us all. But that's not the only thing that we have to worry about, as you all I'm sure know. The election is coming up for both the presidency and a lot of local and state level elections as well, both for House of Representatives, for senators, et cetera. And the election cycle always creates uncertainty in the financial markets, both before the election and then also shortly after as well, right? So the financial markets, they always want information on going forward, right? What is the government going to do? Are they going to change tax laws? Are they going to change corporate tax laws? What else are they going to build infrastructure? What else are they going to do? So that creates uncertainty. We've seen that in the financial markets already in September. October has been pretty good so far, knock on wood, but there will be a lot of uncertainty, a lot of swings in the near term through the inauguration day. And then history does tell us, fortunately, that those swings, that uncertainty tends to settle down within 1 to 3 months after the elections are over and the results are in. So, bear with us, bear with everyone while we see these ups and downs in the financial markets and that sort of thing. They are unsettling, but generally history has shown us they're not here to stay, and the markets will tend to settle out, as we get farther away from election day. What else is on our minds? Loans are a big thing. So student loan repayments were put on hold by previous administrations, and they are back this October after a 3-year pause. So that can impact both parents of adult children who have these loans taken out, and it can also impact new workers into the workforce, right, where they're starting to have to repay these loans, and they're seeing other things come, that are coming down the line as well. These young workers have also been hit with extraordinarily high inflation figures we haven't seen in decades. So coming out of college, it's kind of been a double whammy for them. Very high inflation, trying to find jobs, and also the fact that they will have to start repaying their loans now. At least on the short term, depending on what the markets do going forward and the elections do going forward as well. Last but not least, in terms of economic woes, credit card debt was on a downswing for a number of years, but it is back to increasing on average, per house per user. So the average credit card balance, as of 2022, according to Bankrate, was $5,900 for each individual. So think about that, right there. We're all at different levels, different stages, different comfort zones of our financial wellness. But if you're someone that does pay your credit card off every month, whether you use it a lot or use it a little or don't use it at all, for every one of us that has zero a balance on our credit cards at the end of every month, that means somebody else has almost $12,000 worth of debt, to get to that $5,900 average. So that is a substantial amount of debt that folks may or may not be carrying on their credit cards, and that can cause worries, as we go through there. So if we move to the next slide, let's kind of get to the meaning of what we say when we say financial wellness. The meaning is it's the feeling you have of having financial security and financial freedom of choice in the present as well as the future, right? So financial wellness does not mean you're rich or you have plenty saved up for retirement, or you don't have anything saved for retirement, but you think you will. It's how do you feel about your finances now and looking forward to the future? Are you comfortable with where you at? Are you uncomfortable with where you at? Do you see these other macroeconomic, factors coming into play that could cause you uneasiness, or could also comfort you, could make you feel better? So that's what we say when we talk about financial wellness. It's that feeling of financial security. It doesn't mean you have to have all the money in the world or you have to be comfortable with where you're at. It's just, do you feel comfortable? Do you feel, or do you feel uncomfortable? What is the impact of financial wellness? Financial wellness, good or bad, is directly impacts the stress that you have in your life, right? So positive financial wellness generally will set you at ease. You can think less about your financial future, and you can pivot and think more about what's going on with your job, what's going on with your family or friend group. If folks have illnesses or or seeing challenges there in their lives, then you can focus on helping those folks that you care about through those tough times or whatever. And on the flip side, if you are not comfortable with your financial wellness, it can add to stress that you may already feel within your job or within your family or friend group or within your local area that you live in. And that can really cause negative, it's caused serious harm, quite honestly, to your health. Stress, I think we've all heard that stress can directly cause high blood pressure. It can cause other issues. It can cause depression or depression-like symptoms. It can manifest itself in many ways, both in acute and chronic illnesses for folks. And so trying to, overcome any negative financial stress and create a positive financial wellness in your life is a great way to help improve your overall physical health or mental health. And again, lastly, peace of mind. Positive financial wellness, confident financial wellness can reduce stress, and also help you either create a long-term financial plan, or maybe even most importantly, help you monitor, hopefully, a long-term financial plan that you already have in place. And so it isn't just I need to start from scratch. It can be very much I've already got a plan in place. Let me revisit it. What does this mean? What's going on? What do I need to change or tweak? What can I leave the same? Et cetera there. And so that can be a big help to you, and as you move forward with wellness. Let me move to the next one here. So, how do you prioritize your financial wellness? First off is budgeting. You can't prioritize financial wellness without knowing your circumstances. That's very, very important, right? Um, Making a budget is a good way to do that. Some folks are very good at budgeting, other folks are not. I particularly am not a good budgeter. I do feel secure in my financial wellness, but I'm not a good budgeter. I just kind of wing it. Um, Tracking your income, right? There for a lot of us, there are more than one ways that income is coming in, right? You have hopefully, if you're actively at work, you've got your salary, things of that nature. If spouse or significant other is also working, you've got their salary, as well. Um, you may also have some other type of income as well. So you want to make sure you identify all of those sources of income. Don't leave any of them out. If you're a retiree or close to retiree, you might have Social Security, you might have a pension, you might have 401k. You could have other forms. You could have annuities. There's a lot of different ways. You could have dividends from stocks or mutual funds. So there's a lot of different ways that this income may come in, regardless of your age. And so make sure you understand where are all those coming from. Then using that income, make sure you track your expenses, track your taxes now, as well as what do you think your taxable income may be in the future, right? Folks talk a lot about different ways to invest your money. There's 401ks, there's Roth IRAs as well. There's TSP if you're a federal government, state and local, have pensions and things of that nature. But look at what that tax implication may be in the future, right? It may change your tax status. Some of that income may be tax deferred and might be tax free. For instance, if you own bonds from municipalities and things of that nature, those are frequently tax free on the state level. So consider that, in your financial portfolio, where is your income going to be, where are your expenses going to be, but also implications to your tax rate, because your current tax rate now is certainly probably not likely to be your tax rate when you are retired, right? It's going to change. It may go up, it may go down, but it most certainly will likely change. So make sure you take a look at that as you go through there. Savings is a huge part of this. Set aside, if you can, if it's humanly possible, I should say, a minimum of $500 to $2,000 for an emergency and or a major expense. If you think about it, any of the types of things that may impact us on property casualty side, like a car accident or something like that, or a large storm that comes through, you probably have a deductible on your car insurance or on your home, etc. You've got to come up with the cash to pay that deductible, before the insurance will kick in. So that's something that you have there. On the health side, same thing, right? Even the best health plans have some sort of deductible. Or if you have a high deductible healthcare plan, your deductible is by your choice higher. So you've got to cover those, those deductibles before those benefits are going to start to pay out and defer, hopefully a large portion of the expenses, or cover a large portion of those expenses. But you still need those amounts to pay the deductibles. Something still may come up that's unforeseen. Again, circling back to a car. What if you just were terribly unlucky and your car just dies? Your engine dies, your transmission dies, something like that, some major component. So many electrical components in cars nowadays. What if that breaks, and you don't have, and your insurance doesn't cover that type of coverage? You're either stuck with repairing your car or going to look for a new one, right? And that's very expensive. It's not necessarily a planned expense either, and so you're going to need some cash to help offset, the either those expenses to repair or the expenses to replace your car. So saving money is a big way to do it. You may also need to save for some nice events too, right? So we're talking, I'm talking a little doom and gloom on that in terms of saving. But what if you have an opportunity to go visit a friend across, across the United States, or perhaps even somebody overseas? That there's a great opportunity to go visit somebody you have not seen in a very long time, um, but you don't have the savings and you can't make it work because you don't want to add to your credit card debt or anything like that. So saving a little bit of money aside is another way to be able to go do that unexpected positive opportunity that you have in your life too, right? It doesn't have to just be a what happens if something bad goes wrong. It could be what happens if you have a great opportunity to go do something with friend or family member or something, and if you have that money saved up, you can take care of that opportunity and have that confidence and that financial wellness, that you can make it work. Um, so and last but not least, determine what you're looking for with this type of wellness program. So what are your short-term and long-term goals, financially? Um, what are you looking to do in the next or what do you think you're going to need to do in the next 6 to 12 months, on a short-term basis? And then longer than that, what are you looking for, if you're early career, what are you looking for in your stepping stones as you move throughout your working career? If you're mid-career, what are you setting yourself up for, as you move into the sunset of your career and beyond? And if you're, kind of end of your career and retirement is coming up soon, what do you really want to do? Do you want to just sit on a nice go out and buy a brand new couch and sit and watch TV and eat popcorn all day? That's great. Set yourself up for that. If you want to go out and play golf 5 days a week, set yourself up for that. If you want to travel, things of that nature, determine what you want to do with those short and long term goals. Um, if you do have any interest, or if you don't have any debt right now, I should say, um, work towards paying off the high interest debt first. That's always going to be the best way to save you the most money. So if you have a credit card, that's revolving, a revolving credit card debt, that's almost always going to be your highest amount of debt. Versus if you do still have a school loan, hopefully that school loan is a little bit more manageable on the interest side. So pay those credit cards down first, then go and attack your school loan, or go and pay down that car loan that you may have, or any mortgages that you may have as well. Generally, hopefully, those are on the lower side. So pay off a high interest debt first. Um, build your financial literacy wherever you can, right? So we'll talk about that in a couple slides here, but build your understanding of what's going on now as well as in the future, and then work towards those goals there. And lastly and not leastly, consider investing your money as well. Investing can be scary, and again, we'll touch on that in a little bit. It can be scary, right? You're no longer in control of that money. It's not at the bank where you can just go down to the bank and withdraw it. But by and large, investing your money any way you can, whether it's for your employer-sponsored retirement accounts, if it's personally investing, or it's using an external broker, however you're doing it, if you can invest your money, it is shown to be an extraordinarily wise type of way to grow, have your money work for you. So make sure you consider that as well. So some other items that you don't really think about, but are critical to giving you peace of mind and helping build your financial wellness and your comfort with your financial wellness. That is life insurance, right? So, for being honest, nobody likes to talk about life insurance with their family, with their significant others, with friends, even. you don't like to think about it. We don't like to think about not being here tomorrow, and we certainly don't want to think about what's the impact of not being here tomorrow. But it is a reality that's very unlikely that anything bad will happen to us. Um, in the near term, especially the younger we are, uh, but it can happen. I'll share quickly a very personal snippet. I just had a friend pass away, and I went to his funeral last Saturday. He was 47 years old, and he battled cancer for 6 years before passing away. But 47 years old, wife, 2 kids, had a great job as an architect, and was diagnosed with cancer, and fought it as hard as he could. And and he fought bravely, fought it back twice, but it wouldn't leave him alone. And he passed away just last week. So 47 years old, 2 kids, one in elementary school, one just starting high school. um, a terrible experience for his family, for his friends, for his kids and his wife. But he thought about their insurance, right? And he and his wife put a plan together, and so fortunately for them, they will be comfortable, as they go forward. But they thought about it, and fortunately for them, they thought about it before he was first diagnosed, um, because you want to have these plans in place. You want to create this financial wellness, ideally when you're healthy or not terribly sick. Think about this financial wellness now. While you can get your plan in place, and then that way, if something does happen, or if you do battle something, but you can come through it, um, that's one less thing to worry about, is your finances, right? You can focus on your health, or the health of your friends or family that might be sick. And so coming back to this slide, though, life insurance is in a very important part, especially while you're at work, or while you have debt, or while you have family or close friends that really rely on you, and your loss of life, suddenly or not suddenly, would negatively impact them, in a financial sense. So um, life insurance can provide, and of course, end of life expenses to your beneficiaries, whomever you choose to leave that money to. Um, but it's a safety net, and we always say, think about life insurance. It's not for you; it's for the folks that you care about, and/or the folks that rely on you. While you're earning wages, or while there's debt that has to be covered, so your family can stay in their house, if you do pass away. So that is an important part of your financial wellness program, is life insurance. We talked a little bit about debt on this one, right? When you do pass, um, some debt can be transferred to other folks, especially in your family, right? So if you and your significant other are co-owners on a mortgage, and you pass away, the mortgage doesn't go away, right? Your significant other is has to pay the mortgage, or has to sell and move someplace differently. Other types of debt, depending on the debt, can also pass to family as well. So life insurance helps wipe away, so to speak, most or all of that debt, so the people you care most about have a clean slate, and you're providing them financial wellness as much as you, when you consider life insurance as part of your wellness plan. And last but not least, here is health, as it relates to life, and any insurance, but especially life and health and disability, is health insurance. The healthier you are, the cheaper your life insurance will be, right? So create a plan. We talked about it, an early plan, and then a plan later in life. Create an early plan. What life insurance do you need to cover your debts, to leave something extra for friends, family, whomever? You can even leave it to your church as well. Um, but the healthier you are, the more inexpensive your life insurance will be. Take advantage of it. The younger you are, shop around, look for life insurance in different areas, and then make a chance there. Um, if we move on from life insurance, I kind of talked a little bit about this earlier. Is the role of external partners. Um, so let me expand on this a little bit. We don't know everything about everything when it comes to finances, when it comes to our job or our career, whether it comes to to everything. We probably are not the expert at everything that we need to create positive financial wellness, to create a comfort zone around us, um, and that is completely okay, right? Uh, we don't have to be the expert. There are many partners that we can partner with. Some of them are absolutely no cost. Others do cost. Certain things. If you want to talk to financial advisors and things like that. Um, but leverage folks in your circle or outside of your circle that you're comfortable with, that know more than you about these various facets that you can create, that you can bring in to create positive financial wellness around yourself, right? So whether it's investing, um, in the stock market or mutual funds, whether it's investing again in your government, federal or state or local retirement accounts, things of that nature, 401k. If you're in the private sector, or your spouse or significant other is in the private sector, um, leverage all of those partners that can help you make decisions and aid in your financial wellness. um, so an example of what WAEPA does, as an external partner to federal employees and their families is is we offer benefits beyond just the term life insurance and disability that we offer. So we, as a nonprofit, we give money back to our members. We've refunded over 125 million to our members since 1996. As a nonprofit, we review our financial results every year, and our board makes a determination on their financial outlook for the organization, the financial outlook in the macro environment, as well as our reserves. They make a decision whether or not to give a refund back to our members. Just recently, this September, we gave another 10% refund back to our members, which was over $4.2 million. So there are partners that are there to help you. I would say, to be honest, USAA is another great partner that may be available to you. Just anecdotally, we don't work with USAA at all. But having said that, USA is one of the few property and casualty insurers that, if they have favorable financial results in different years, they may actually give you a little bit of that money back that you paid in your car or your home insurance, as well, your property and casualty insurance. So there are partners out there that can help you build your financial wellness and the comfort around your financial wellness, and they really are there to do good for you. In addition to WAEPA providing premium refunds, we also offer complimentary financial wellness planning through Ernst & Young. So if you're a civilian federal employee, or a former civilian federal employee, or a spouse of a civilian federal employee, you can become a member of WAEPA for free, just a member only. You don't even have to purchase our insurance. And then by becoming a member, you can access free financial wellness planning from Ernst & Young. So that means you can talk on the phone, via email, etc., to a certified financial planner at Ernst & Young, and you can create a financial wellness portfolio for you. And you can touch on any types of things, saving for college for young children, retirement planning, planning for the loss of a loved one or something like that. So again, WAEPA offers that as a complimentary benefit to a membership with WAEPA. And then again, last but not least, WAEPA and other partners that you may work with, they may offer a scholarship. WAEPA does offer a scholarship. Those are to dependent children of our members, and we've offered scholarships since 2007, and we've awarded over 2.6 million in scholarships to our members' dependent children. So as you're talking to external partners, see what benefits and services that they leverage, that you can leverage to to work through as you go with them, because they not only will they offer maybe a service for a charge, a nominal charge, um, but they may offer a lot of other free benefits that go along with them as they help out, or other benefits that you can take advantage of that would be unique or helpful in your situation. So please take a look around, and ask questions there. Role of external partners continued here. So beyond group term life insurance, which is what WAEPA, which is our primary um, offering, we also offer short-term disability insurance. So that when I said earlier about life insurance isn't for you, it's for the people you care about. Disability insurance is for you, right? That is essentially paycheck protection. So if you are disabled, then you can continue to have a steady stream of income while hopefully you are on the mend, or if it's going to be a longer term type of injury, while you can get set up to get long term disability, either from your employer, or maybe even have to apply for Social Security disability if it comes to that as well. So short-term disability insurance, protects your income on the short-term basis, usually 6 months or less. It's a great benefit that you may have as part of your employer. They may offer it on an ancillary basis, like on a cafeteria plan or something like that, or you can go to the market and look for disability insurance there. But it's a great paycheck protection for you. And there are many ways that you can find that you can look for there. Whole life insurance is another option, right? So we talked about a little bit about term insurance earlier. Term life is generally for a specified period, 10, 20, 30 years, and there are other periods in between. But it's generally designed to cover you while you think you will have significant debt, and or that you will have family members or very close friends that rely on you. And if you were not here tomorrow, they would really be in a very tough financial position. Having said that, term life, generally, you don't carry term life all the way into old age and death in old age, right? Term life, covers you anywhere from your 20s, through your 60s, or maybe to early 70s, but hopefully in your 70s, you don't have a need for term life any longer. The flip side of that is whole life insurance, right? And of course, there are many, there's the individual markets that you can go to find term life. There are group markets as well. There may be whole life offered through your employer as well that you can opt into. But whole life is it's permanent, right? It's a single premium that you generally would pay for your life, however young or old you live to be. In many cases, it will provide a cash value, upon your death, or at any time if you choose to cash it in before you die. Many times it will have, in most cases, it will have a cash value, and you can take that cash at any point and do something a little different with it, that you really want to do. So that helps build your financial wellness too, right? That you're saving in this other bucket, so to speak, and it's one more lever you can pull as you go through life, where you can collect on a portion or all of that cash value if you want to. Generally, whole life insurance, if it has a cash value, it also has a loan value. So let's say there is something unfortunate that happens, and maybe you did have some cash saved up, but it wasn't enough. You can take a loan out on your whole life insurance frequently to pay those one-time expenses. Then you can pay the loan back, so your whole life is still whole in the event that you do pass away, decades from now as well. And you can also use it lastly as a tool to to leave a little bit of money for friends or family or anyone, after you do pass. It's an option to help pay final expenses. It's an option to pay any other debt that you may have when you pass away, or it can be used to give something to people that you care about, there. So these are all the slides that I have prepared now, but I do want to talk just a little bit generally before we get into the Q&A and then the poll questions as well. I do want to talk a little bit about circling back to financial wellness and we talked about early about creating a plan. I would have to say the second most important thing that you can do to at least creating a plan or the framework of a plan is revisiting the plan. A financial wellness plan or a financial plan for you and your family is not a set it and forget it tool. Your circumstances can change very frequently. They can change at a moment's notice. They can change unexpectedly. And the flip side of that is you can plan it, and as you get to those milestones, you would say, "Yep, this is what I planned. This is when this is when I thought this or that may happen, and it did. Okay, I feel good. I feel confident that I planned for that. It occurred, and I was able to to overcome that or respond to that challenge or respond to that opportunity." But you want to revisit the plan. And I can't say this enough. I say this at all of the conferences that I talk when I talk about financial wellness is your open season. If you're actively at work, your open season is for your health benefits is a great opportunity or a great reminder at a minimum to look at everything that you're doing, because generally those open seasons do occur, every year. So take a look. We didn't talk a lot about health insurance because that's kind of different. It doesn't directly relate to financial wellness like these other topics we talked about, but look at your health insurance, right? Most employers, if they're medium or large, they have more than one choice available to you. If you're with the federal government, I think, there's more than 20 or 30 options, especially regionally or locally. There's more. So there are usually more than one option that you can choose from for your health insurance. So look at what you have. How does it fit in? Do you need family coverage any longer? Do you need more family coverage? Can you afford a higher deductible, which will result in lower premiums to you? If you do have some more cash saved, if you are building financial wellness and financial certainty, and you do have more cash saved, you may want to up your deductibles so you pay less in premiums and just slightly higher out of pocket in the event that something does happen. So make sure you look at that annually. Most folks do not switch their health insurance every year. And all the studies I've shown is, in many cases, that is a mistake, right? That something has changed or premiums have increased in your existing plan. We just kind of went along with it. And we didn't really think, let me look around, right? Let me see if somebody else can give me the same, the same insurance at a lower price. So health insurance is a big one. That's a significant expense to most of us every year, whether we're actively employed or retired. But it's a big expense. And then while you're doing that, sometimes that can be very overwhelming, right? If you have a lot of choices and there's a limited time to go through the open season for health insurance, so you may not want to look at your property and casualty for your house or car or anything else, or your renter's insurance. You may not want to look at life insurance at that time too. But set a note for after open season is over for your health insurance to circle back. Look at your property casualty. Look at your life insurance. Look at what you may be missing, or what you may have too much of, right? If you took out term life in your 30s and you're in your 50s now, and your house is mostly paid off, and you're not having to spend too much for your child's education if you had children, you probably need a lot less term insurance at that point, right? So you can lower your term insurance at that point, save money, put that money back in your pocket to use towards something else, or to save towards something else as well. So make sure that you revisit your plan, feel confident as much as you can about it. And if you aren't confident, or if you want to gain even more confidence, leverage an external partner as you go through. Have somebody help you. Have somebody that is smarter than you in this particular realm to do that. I do that as well. There's always something that I can learn. There's somebody else that's smarter about something that I'm looking at, and leverage them to make you feel more So Doug,
Awesome.
that was it for those slides. So I know we have what polls, but we probably also have some good questions as well.
Yeah,
So
we do. So Tony, thank you so much. I mean, we covered a lot, and obviously this is a very deep topic. So what we're going to do, folks, is we're going to multitask here. I'm going to put some poll questions out. For once again, if you want CPEs, we need you to take the poll questions. They're going to run in the background. Please answer them. And at the same time, we're going to do a Q&A with Tony. So Tony, before I put the first poll question out, just want to kind of ask a question. We're approaching 2025. What financial wellness tips would you recommend for the new year? You talked a little bit about revisiting your plans and a certain frequency, but let's start. 2025 is what, 2 months away? What should people be thinking about while I push this poll question out?
So a great question, Doug, and attendees there as that came over. First off, is let the election turmoil subside. There's always election turmoil every 4 years, and it always subsides, right? If history is any indication, it will subside. This too shall pass, as a lot of folks say. So let the turmoil, the election turmoil subside. And then, as you're looking at the direction of both what the Fed is doing and what our elected representatives are doing, then once you have an idea of what that is, then go back and take a look. Do you want to adjust your financial your financial goals, what you do to invest, things of that nature? Again, depending, not to hinge it on the election, but it's very topical this year in particular, right? Depending on who is in control in the presidency, as well as the House of Representatives and Senate, there may be a lot of bills or things passed in the early months of the new presidency that can benefit you or could hurt your financial wellness, depending on what's being passed. So take a look and be mindful of that, and then pivot and do what you feel is going to be best for you. That would be my recommendation.
No, thank you. And just looking at the first poll question, I think you did a great job, because the question was, what is financial wellness? 81% of our folks had peace of mind by having financial options and a sense of security. So well done there. Next question is, what are some of the biggest financial mistakes people make in planning? Or missteps, maybe not mistakes.
Yeah, no, great. Again, another great question from those folks attending. I think for that, it would be it's not looking at the full impact of decisions they make, or who it's going to impact, right? So it may be, if for instance, your parents may rely on you a little bit more, right? If they're older, you may not really think about it, because, you go over, once a week if they're local, and you cook dinner for them, right? Or you help them take the trash out, every Sunday night, or, it could be little things like that. It could be big things. But if we do it, if it's routine to us, and of course we want to do it, right? We want to help our friends and family out. So you don't really think about it. But what were to happen if you had to do something in your life that would change that, and you have to move? The job opportunity is too good to pass up, or the promotion is too good to pass up, or it's move or find something else to do, right? We're going to let you go if you don't do this new position or move to this new location. So who is relying on you? Who's relying on you, and to what extent? And make sure you consider that as you go out. And then I think secondarily, and I touched on it right at the end there, is don't just set and forget a plan. Come back to it, even if you can't come back to it yearly. Come back to it, every other year. But come back to the plan. What you want to do in retirement or later in life, even while you're still working, that might change, right? And that could change substantially. You may all of a sudden realize, I really love traveling, and I want to travel as much as I possibly can, even while I'm working, because that's when I'm healthy, and that's when I can, do all these hikes or go to these, very exotic trips. you may not have thought that you would want to do that in your 20s. But now that you're in your 30s or 40s, you may be, I really love traveling and I want to do this as much as possible. And I don't want to wait until I'm retired to do that. So come back and look at your plan, and see what you can do and see what you can change to make sure that you can go do these things that you want to do, or buy this really expensive car that you just realized I really want to, that's my splurge. That's what I want to do for me. So come back to the plan, and adjust it, and adjust your expenses, as well if need be, so you can meet those goals.
Great, thank you. Really good question came through. Actually, two questions I'm going to make into one about tools and resources. So the first question is, there's so much to know about responsible investing and preparing for the future. As part of the learning journey, are there some books that you would recommend? They're also going to plan on going to the WAEPA site, books. And then another question came in, Tony, about, are there good budgeting tools that you would recommend? So resources and tools related.
Okay, resources and tools. All right, let me tackle the first one. Resources, there are some great resources on WAEPA's site as well. We have a number of guides that can help you through that as well. Other resources or books. I've read a couple of them. WAEPA does an annual symposium for our members. We've had some great financial wellness speakers there as well. And geez, it's just flown out of my head who they were. But their books are awesome. One tool that I found very helpful, being local here, is the Washington Post is a good resource. They have a dedicated, kind of finance section, and they have some great financial wellness writers that also do write books on these topics too. So I would say if you have a local or regional newspaper that you either read electronically or still in print, that they can provide you some great resources in terms of finance, in terms of books and things of that nature. So that's definitely something I would recommend. And then in terms of budgeting tips, I would say maybe, and again, this is kind of topical, but it's very important long term too, is don't underestimate the impact of that inflation can have as you budget, right? So we just went through this extraordinarily high inflationary period, relatively speaking. The highest, I think, since the early 90s, and then before that it was the late 70s and early 80s. So it had been a long time since inflation got this high. Even in the financial crisis in 08, I don't think it quite peaked this high, or it was close to it. But this has been a long time, right? So don't underestimate the impact that changes in inflation, which are that can be very unexpected. They can be very quick, to what those can do to your budget. And then I would say lastly on the budget, is look at the things, especially, this is kind of something that gets lost in the shuffle sometimes, is look at those recurring fees that you have on your credit card or that you're paying via ACH, right? So you've got the payments that are set and forget it. Those would be things like your cable bill or your internet, or your subscription to YouTube TV, or whatever, or even your Panera Bread now does a thing, right, where you can sign up for unlimited drinks, and you just pay that thing. Keep an eye on those expenses, and make changes to those as necessary, right? Or do you really need YouTube TV and Hulu and Netflix and Disney and Paramount Plus and all of these things, and your cable, and maybe regular cable too, right? Comcast or Fios or whatever you may have, RCN, who names it. So keep an eye on those, and it's not about making sacrifices. It's just, what am I really using, right? You don't necessarily have to sacrifice as much as, do I really need this, or I can get this another way, or I can consume this another way. I can consume this digitally, things of that nature. But look at those set it and forget it items that you have within your budget, and see if there's something better for you there. That's my suggestion.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we don't do it enough, but even just, looking at our credit card bill for all these recurring costs that you forget about, yep. And there's a lot there that can be. Tony, any budgeting tools that you use or you could recommend for others, like some people put stuff in Excel, but are there any programs or platforms that you would think about?
So a good question. Personally, I use Excel also.
Mm-hmm.
I also work with an external investment advisor for investing outside of my 401k at work. I won't give out their name because I'm not
Sure.
plugging them. I'm here to
Understood.
provide benefit for this. But having said that, the any of those large financial houses out there, whether it's Schwab, Edward Jones, I think Mass Mutual does things like this too. There's many numbers of them. I also leverage my personal investor, and they have some very robust tools. They have those online tools that I use. They have in-person tools I've used before. And I will also say, again, honestly, to plug WAEPA just a tiny bit, the tools that we have available to our eligible members through Ernst & Young are extraordinarily robust, and I use that as well. And I think the key is use as many tools as you're comfortable with, because there is a general format that we all follow, but there's always something new that you can glean, or something else that somebody else can tell you, that is helpful to you, that you didn't get on this other platform, or it just wasn't reinforced as quickly on this platform versus that platform. So don't just necessarily stick with one. If you have one you're really happy with, then that's great.
Yep.
But if you can find more than one, then absolutely take advantage of it, especially if it's at a free or extraordinarily reduced cost to you. So.
Great. Kind of final question. We talked about a lot today. Super useful. Folks, as a reminder, you will get a copy you'll be able to watch this presentation again. This slide deck is in the resources tab. It'll be available to you as long as you can access this platform. Tony, if you had to come down to one takeaway from today's session that folks could take with them, what would that be?
I think, again, it really is, what is financial wellness, right? It is that feeling of financial security. It does not mean that you have $8 million in your retirement account, or your TSP, or in the bank, right? Under your mattress even. It doesn't mean that you have a large amount of cash, or that you're 99.99% certain that you will have a large amount of cash. It is what are your goals, and how are you going to try to reach them? And if you have set unrealistic goals, and you've gone through your plan countless times, and you're like, I don't see any way I can reach this goal, then modify your goal a little bit to make you feel a little bit better, and just keep it as a stretch goal. So instead of I have to do this, be like, I will aspire to do this, but I know I need to do these steps beforehand. So it's remembering that financial wellness does not mean you have enough money to retire tomorrow, and then leave $20 million, to your friends and family and whoever. It is, do you have a plan? Are you comfortable with it? And if it's not keeping you up at night worrying about finances, then you're probably on the right track. So.
Wonderful. Tony, thank you so much. Such good information and advice and counsel. We appreciate it. There was a question earlier about when Tony was talking about things, where to go. You can visit the WAEPA site. It's waepa.org. Tons of resources there. So please do visit that for more. Before we conclude, a couple things. I'd like to thank our Alliance partners. They made it possible for us to provide this as a free and live training for all our wonderful attendees today. So thank you to all of them. So what's happening next? We have a lunch keynote coming up at 12:30. You just need to go back to the conference hall and tune into there. We have 2 keynotes. We also have our NextGen Public Service Awards ceremony to celebrate some just awesome folks in our community that are doing really great things. I think I have a few more things I got to mention here. So let's see, what's next? Learn more. You can go to the resources section to get great resources from this session or other sessions. The more active you are in the environment, going to the exhibit hall, attending sessions, you can get on the leaderboard, and folks win. There's some prizes. on the leaderboard. There's some free books. Visit the exhibit hall. You can find out from our partners some cool things that are going on. Networking lounge is available for you to talk with other attendees. Obviously, if you have any questions, please hit us up at nextgen@govloop.com. I want to thank all of you for attending this session and NextGen in general. We are such big fans of the public sector community, and we are here to serve you. We appreciate the work you do every day. We appreciate organizations like WAEPA. Thank you for doing your jobs every day to keep our country running. It is at times thankless, but on behalf of GovLoop, WAEPA, and NextGen, I would say thank you. Enjoy the rest of the day. We got a lot more learning to do, and we'll see you at lunch. Thanks, everybody.